Hi guys, my name is Karis Powell and I'll be reviewing the app called Speakprose. This is the icon that you would see if you wanted to download it in the App Store. I did download the free version of this app, which is fairly limited to be honest, but if this was one of your means of communication, I think it would be worth it to buy the subscription, which is $7.99 a month, which in the long scheme of things, that's really not a whole lot of money to communicate. So this is the free version. You would get a few more topics, I guess, a few more icons if you purchase the subscription. And overall, it just makes it a more well-rounded app to use as a communication device. So I'll just go ahead and go through each of these sections that they have available. Let's see. So the first one is the Academy, and that's what I have open right here. This is where an individual or a learner could come in and practice different speaking scenarios. It starts out at an easier level and goes to harder. So like the first one is chat with a teacher. So you would click this and go into it, and it would provide you with a scenario in which you're chatting with a teacher about an assignment or an activity that you're doing, and it prompts you and helps you on what you should respond with after they communicate with you. So this is a great learning experience for highly cognitive learners that would be able to understand these scenarios. And you'll see with this app, for someone to be successful with using this app as a communication device, they would have to be pretty highly cognitive individuals, just because there really aren't many pictures. It's all words, it's all gestures, and it could be useful for that person, but I wouldn't use it with someone who's pretty low cognitively. So that's the Academy, and then we'll go into like the meat of the app. This is where all the icons are that you'd be able to choose or expand upon. Like I said earlier, this is the free version of the app, so this is all you get. If you did buy the whole version of the app for $7.99 a month, you would get a lot more icons than this, and you'd have more pages to scroll down, but I just have this for now. What I like about these icons is the little gestures or the emojis, I guess, in the corners that help them to have different contexts of the words. And then also the arrows on the sides right here. Those are quick swipes. If they, instead of coming into here and finding the word, they could just use the gesture in another area, and I'll show you where to do that. And that makes it really quick to communicate in a communication exchange. So I also like about these, some of them you can expand on the utterance. So like for instance, I need, you could click on it and you could expand on the utterance and add whatever you need. I need help. And then you can also expand on that. If you had a specific thing you could type in that you needed help with, or you could just say, I need help. So that's pretty cool. You could also do this lookup section, and this is when, if you upgraded for $7.99 a month, you could look up a lot of different words or different icons that you could add to your section. But it is pretty limited right here. I mean, it has the basics. Definitely could get some wants and needs in there. The next section, this is where the gestures come into play. I really love this part because it just allows for a really quick communication exchange between partners. And these different symbols can be programmed to different things, but right now, as you saw earlier, the arrows were with these different words. And so if we go back in here, you can click on the arrow, and that means no. So if you slide down, it says no. So that's just a pretty cool option if they don't feel like going in here and looking through all the words, because if you have the whole version, you'll have a lot of icons to go through. So if you program these gestures and you memorize them, you could just use your gestures to communicate easily. And like I said earlier, this is a pretty highly cognitive kiddo. They'd have to learn all these gestures and memorize them in order to use it efficiently. And then over here, you can add the custom gestures that I was telling you about. These don't just have to be words, they can also be phrases. So if an individual has a certain phrase or sentence that they say a lot, they could program that here. And they'd be able to just do this gesture and then automatically go through and say that utterance automatically. So that's a pretty cool feature, I think. If they knew how to use it, if they had phrases that they wanted to customize, I like how individualized that could be. And then here is like the profile type page. And so it has your name on top, and then you get to choose a funny character if you would like to, or just a plain type looking person. I think that's pretty cute that they get to choose what they look like. You can also choose your voices here. And you can change, obviously the gender of your voice and the age to a degree. And then you could change the timbre, pitch, and speed of the voice. So really, if they had a picture or an image in their mind of what their voice sounds like, or what their voice wants to sound like, they could choose that here, or it could be a fun thing or just a really individualized thing, so to make them feel more at home with it. I'll go ahead and save that. I just have mine as the female adult. Alright, and then also what is cool about this app is the data collection here. For data collection purposes, for a clinician or therapist or whatever, they'd be able to see how often this communicator is using this app, how many days they use the app, if they've completed any lessons in the academy. And then it does also chart here how many words they use throughout certain days. So that's a pretty cool feature as well. Like I said earlier, this is a fairly basic app for fairly basic needs, unless you do want to purchase the pro subscription of this app. And the pro subscription would have a lot more icons in this page as well. And I think it also comes with more settings, like more voices and more avatars that you could choose from. And also it unlocks more of these academy lessons, because here there's only 5, but there should be 15 that they could get. So overall, great app if it's used for the appropriate person. Like I said earlier, it would have to be a pretty highly cognitive person to be able to utilize this app efficiently. Thank you guys.